Fire ants can sting you, causing painful bumps that can get infected. Some people are allergic to fire ants and can have severe reactions if bitten. Fire ants are found commonly in open, sunny areas such as fields, roadsides, playgrounds, and parks. You can prevent fire ant stings by watching where you step when you are outdoors and learning to identify fire ant mounds. How to prevent fire ant sting. Welcome to my channel. Here we talk about gardening tips and pest control methods like this. So you're here for the first time. Maybe it's a good idea to subscribe. Also, click the bell icon so that you receive notifications on my new upload. Part 1. Protecting against fire ants. 1. Watch where you step. Most people get stung by fire ants because they aren't paying attention to where they are stepping. Watching where you walk can help prevent many fire ant bites. It only takes standing on a mound for a few seconds to get stung. When walking in an area that may have fire ants, watch where you place your feet. Take caution when sightseeing, taking photos, sleeping on the ground when camping, or sitting around campfires. 2. Avoid disturbing ant hills. One of the easiest ways to prevent a fire ant sting is to leave their mounds alone. Stepping on an ant hill will disturb them and cause hundreds of them to come out of the mound. Watch where you are walking, and if you are close to an ant mound, take care to get around it without stepping on it. Even standing near a fire ant hill may put you at risk since ants can be on the ground near the mound. 3. Lift items from the ground. Lift items from the ground with caution. Fire ants will congregate under items on the ground. If you lift anything from the ground, such as a log, garbage, or dead animal, check to make sure they aren't covered in ants. Try kicking it with your foot to see if you disturb any ants. Wear gloves as you lift it slowly to see if there are ants beneath the item. 4. Wear protective clothing. Clothing covering any exposed skin can help reduce the risk of you getting stung. Socks, long pants, or tights can place a barrier between your legs and the fire ant that can either prevent the sting or reduce the amount of ants biting you. If you live in a fire ant-infested area, wear protective clothing. Legs are more likely to get stung if you step in a mound. If you are touching things on the ground near fire ants, wear long-sleeved shirts or gloves. 5. Use insect repellent. Spraying insect repellent on your shoes and clothing may help you prevent fire ant stings. Use an insect repellent that contains DEET or picaridin. Spray it on your shoes, socks, and pants legs. If you are going to be grabbing things off the ground, spray it on your gloves or sleeves. 6. Put out fire ant bait. Preventing fire ant infestations is a surefire way to prevent stings since there won't be any fire ants around. Putting out fire ant bait can help kill the colony and the queen. You can sprinkle bait around the yard and around the mounds. Sprinkle bait around in both the spring and the fall. 7. Be extra vigilant when you're out with children. Children may disturb a fire ant mound out of fascination or curiosity. They can get covered in ants in seconds. When your children are outside, watch them closely and explain the dangers of ant mounds. Watch very closely where you place strollers, wagons, or baby carriers. If you place them next to a fire ant mound or an area with fire ants, the ants may get on the baby. Part 2. Reducing the risk of stings. 1. Remain calm if you get fire ants. If you end up getting fire ants on you, remain calm. Leave the area where the fire ants are and move to an area with no fire ants. This may be just another part of a park or field away from the mound. 2. Brush ants off. Brush ants off if they crawl on you. Fire ants have jaws that can embed into your skin. If you see or feel one crawling on you, brush it off as soon as possible. You may be able to knock it off before it bites you or attaches itself with its jaws. Brush down your limbs towards your hands or feet. 3. Remove clothing immediately. If you end up with fire ants on you, remove your clothing immediately. shakes out your clothes, including socks and shoes. Fire ants can hide in the folds of clothing for hours. If you think you were exposed, check your clothing carefully. 4. Avoid using water to remove fire ants. You may think that rinsing fire ants off with water will remove them. However, this can make things worse. Water can make the fire ants bite you harder with their jaws and start stinging you more. Part 3. Identifying fire ant mounds. 1. Identify fire ant mounds. Recognizing fire ant mounds in an area can help you stay away from them and protect yourself from bites. Fire ant mounds are usually larger and can be up to around 18 inches, 45 centimeters high and 30 inches, 76 centimeters wide. Fire ant mounds don't have holes in the top that they crawl in and out of. They get into the mound from underground. 2. Look for fire ants in open sunny areas. Fire ants like to build their mounds in open sunny areas or in areas near food. You can find them around stumps, sidewalks, trees, the edges of roads, and rotting logs. They may also be in flower beds, on playgrounds, or on sports fields. You are more likely to run across fire ants or fire ant mounds if you are outdoors in the southeastern United States. They live in milder climates with consistent humidity levels. Fire ants are also found in the western and southwestern US, but they are not as common. 3. Examine an area. Examine an area for any evidence of fire ants. Fire ants can be in almost any sunny area with grass, woods, or fields. You may encounter fire ants on trees or even in the water. Before working or spending time in an area, search the area for any signs of fire ants. Identifying fire ant mounds in the area can keep you safe. Even if you can't find a mound, knowing there are fire ants around can help you be more vigilant and watch where you are stepping or touching. Look around stumps, trees, or rotting logs for fire ant mounds. You may also find them around picnic sites, garbage cans, or even on the side of the road. 4. Learn to recognize a fire ant. To prevent stings, you should know what to look for so you can stay away. Fire ants can vary in size from 3 mm to 1/4 inch, 6 mm. They have a redder color than other ants, usually being reddish-brown and black. Sometimes, they have wings. Thanks for watching. Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update from Guardian's Choice Official.